What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of The Hammer Drops. I'm your host, Layak. Today, we're going to go over a bunch of different stuff. We're going to go over the Super Bowl that's coming up. We're going to talk about paganism. We're going to talk about Davos, what's going on over there. You know, a new disease is coming, disease X, just in time for 2024 and the elections. So let's just dive in right away, shall we? So first and foremost, let's talk about the Super Bowl. The Super Bowl is February 11th, and of course, if you're underneath a rock, which most people are, they don't really pay attention that much anymore. But if you noticed, I forgot the news station, but they released who is going to be playing halftime, the pre-show, and all that stuff for the upcoming Super Bowl. And they included the two teams that are going to be in it, which is going to be the Ravens versus San Francisco. Go figure. Is the NFL scripted? A lot of people have been saying that for many, many years, that it actually is. Even players have come out and said that the NFL is, in fact, scripted. And that NFL players do have to sign a non-disclosure agreement when they come into the league, and not to disclose that kind of information. But then there are some players that have gone against that have been out of the league for some time and are speaking out about it. Even Aaron Rodgers even mentioned something about it on the Pat McAfee show or whatever. So it's kind of strange. So I posted this on my socials. It's, who I thought was going to be, predicting just by the colors who's going to be in the Super Bowl. And I said the Ravens versus San Francisco. So let's see how this plays out. If I was a betting man, which I am, I'm putting my money on those two teams to be in the Super Bowl. And actually, you can go to BetMGM and actually do that. Actually put in there, I think these two teams are going to be in there. Hey, there you go. Put $10 down. Maybe you'll win fucking $60 or something like that. Why not, right? I'm not promoting betting or gambling or anything like that. But, I do have to say it's kind of weird, how that just came out, and it's been kind of out there that it's been scripted. So this is going to tell us, folks. We'll see how that goes. And now, if you've been paying attention to what's going on in Davos, they're talking about disease X. All right. So there's this new disease that they're preparing for. Not knowing what it is, they're calling it disease X, though. They don't know exactly what it is, what it's going to do. They figure it's a respiratory disease. Go figure, like COVID. So we're preparing for a disease that we don't know about. Why? Why are we preparing for a disease we do not know about or know nothing about now? I mean, it is 2024. Maybe the left doesn't think they're going to be able to win with mail-in voting, so they got to shut it down. I mean, I've been saying that for a while now, that the potential of a pandemic 2.0 will be coming, that will shut down everything and force mail-in voting, and which essentially will allow the Democrats to win again. So it's, I don't know, it just seems kind of ironic. And they're really pushing this, the WHO is really pushing their pandemic treaty. And what that is, and I discussed this in previous episodes before, the pandemic treaty is essentially giving away your sovereign rights in the time of a pandemic. And who gets to decide when it's a pandemic? Drum roll, please. Da-da-da-da-da-da. You guessed it, the WHO. So if the WHO feels that something is a pandemic, well, guess what? Now you have to do everything and anything that the WHO and their doctors say. And it will be enforced forcibly by your governments, which could be, hey, guess what? We want you to get another vaccine. You got to get this experimental vaccine shot to prevent X. But guess what? Now you're going to have to get it. You're not going to have a fucking choice. Or they're going to wrangle you up like they did down in Australia during the, COVID days and put you in concentration camps and you're a bad boy. I mean, Go figure. I mean, they put you in concentration camps because you refuse to get a vaccine that's experimental, that hasn't gone through the process. Thank God a lot of people haven't, because a lot of people that have gotten the jab are dying or have developed autoimmune cancers, heart conditions, and all this other fun stuff. I mean, we've been through this. So now they want to push disease X. So you're not going to hear about this on while watching TV, watching your news channels, or anything like that. You actually have to turn off your TV, hop on your computer, and do some fucking research, and then you'll find it right there. It's real easy. Just type in disease X into Google, and it's going to come up with some articles. Or go to my Facebook page, The Hammer Drops Podcast. You'll see the pictures, and I provided you with some links about disease X there. Go check it out. And while you're there, don't forget to follow the page. Give us a like over there on Facebook. So that's disease X, just in time for 2024. Now, my predictions for 2024 is not only, I don't think disease X is going to work, because they're trying to make this out to, even like the new COVID that's coming out. They're trying to make it out to be like, well, if you catch this, it's 100% kill rate, blah, 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 blah. You know what? I'm not buying into that shit, and a lot of people aren't going to. So their backup plan is this whole pro-Palestinian crap that's going on with these riots. Well, not so much riots, but the protests are shutting down streets and all that stuff, which in turn is eventually going to turn it into riots and violence, because, folks, we're not going to do 2020 over again here. You try to shut down streets. You try to prevent people from getting to work or getting to where they're going to go. They're going to fucking run you over. Get out of the road. Stop being fucking stupid. Yes, what's going on over in the Middle East, can it be avoided? Yes. Was it? I mean, let's face facts. Hamas was basically funded by Iran and our money that we gave to Iran. Thank you, Joe Biden, by the way. But that's how Hamas was funded. So if you want to be pissed off at anybody, be pissed off at Hamas. Leave the fucking people, the innocent Palestinians alone. And for God's sakes, will you please stop with these fucking bullshit protests? You're not making yourself look good, especially when you're going to the fucking state capitol and trying to take it over. Do you remember the last group of people that did that? Oh, that's right. They were Republican, J6 people, and they're still sitting in jail. But yet nothing's going to happen to you because you probably vote fucking Democrat. So they're just going to be like, oh, give them a slap on the wrist. It's okay. We don't want to get too mad at these people, right? Is that essentially what I'm gathering here? So it just, yeah. I mean, if you can see what's going to happen in 2024, the summer of love 2024 is going to probably end up being just like 2020 all over again. And the fucked up thing is that you all can see it and you all are going to allow it to happen again. My God, people. The definition of insanity is letting something repeat over and over and over again, expecting a different outcome when it's only going to be the same outcome. That's exactly what's going to happen again. So on top of that, Trump won the Iowa Caucus, like pretty convincingly. So, and then boy, is the left, they are not happy. Those propagandists over there on Twitter, man, I get a kick out of them because they all literally write, or not, they don't even write their shit. They get it's like copy, paste, post. Copy, paste, post. Pay me, please. And that's kind of how it goes over there. I mean, because they may change one or two words so it doesn't look like it's copy and pasted, but we all know what it is. I mean, it's basically the same fucking thing verbatim. I mean, come on. I mean, I don't know, folks. I mean, this is just fucked up, man. It's like you got these, so they're all pissed off at Trump because he won. All right. So now they're trying to say, well, he had these red marks on his hands and saying they had syphilis or some shit. It's like, really? You guys, really? You got to go that low now? Let's talk about Joe Biden's balls, the ball chin thing. Remember his mask was a little fucked up that one time on the plane? But that's okay. We're going to overlook that. Oh, then they start attacking Trump and his cognitive, he's cognitively like declining when Joe Biden can't even put together a fucking sentence. And you got Trump out there, literally day in and day out, he's going from rally to rally to rally to court cases to court cases to court cases to rallies to rally. Of course, these guys are going to be so mad at Trump because they can't get Trump. They've indicted this man with 91 accounts, and they can't get nothing. All that does is make him more popular and surge him in the polls. But Joe Biden said once Trump won Iowa, we raised $1.4 million. How about it, Joe? How about taking some of that money that you got from China, from you and your son, or the money that kickback money that you got back, from giving money to Ukraine, or, why don't you dump some of that in your campaign? But you ain't going to do that because, that's essentially setting up your kids so they don't ever have to work a day in their life. But I get it. But we see how that goes when you have a crackhead son. That's just the way it is, right? So you have all that going on. Trump won there. And Vivek, I got to give you props, sir. You bowed out gracefully. You did what was right for the country, because the country does need to get behind one person. And if the conservatives and Republicans want to win, that's what we all need to do, whether you agree or disagree. The man that's going to win is going to be Trump, okay? It's going to be Trump versus, and I'm very skeptical if Biden is actually going to make it to the elections. I think personally he will probably end up bowing out because of health issues and the legal ongoing trouble that his son is being in, because they're really revving it up against him. And I think they're doing that because they're setting Biden up. They're setting Biden up to take the fall because they don't want him in. So they have to figure out a way to do it somewhat gracefully without actually being dicks about it. So this is their way of trying to be graceful about it. And runner-up is not going to be Kamala Harris. You have the only living president that has ever stayed in D.C. in Barack Obama, which we all know that it's actually his third term right now. He's the puppet master. But his wife, Michelle, is going to probably throw her hat into the ring to become president. The first transgendered president. Oh, and if you're listening to this right now, I am perfectly content with my life. I am happy I did not kill myself. Because a comment like that with Biden, with Obama, is like giving a comment like that with Clinton. You always got to wonder. I'm kind of curious on how their chef, who was a good swimmer, just, kind of wound up dead while he was kayaking. I thought that was very strange. And yet we still haven't heard anything about it. Go figure, right? We all know what happened. It is what it is. The elites are allowed to do stuff like that, I guess. So, with all of that going on, okay, it's crazy, right? Now, for those of you that don't know me, let me reintroduce myself to you, my listeners. Okay. And there's a point of me doing this because I'm going to blast another show, another podcast, because of an episode that they posted, and you'll understand and I'll explain it. But who I am, okay? I am a proud pagan. I'm a proud heathen. I don't believe, I was raised Lutheran. Of course, it wasn't really, I wasn't doing it willfully. I could tell you this, that the times I had to go to Sunday school, I would actually, you can find me more or less out in the parking lot than actually in like a Sunday school type setting, because even from a very young age, I didn't see a point of having to go worship a god in a building. And I never quite understood the whole concept of, not only are you doing that, but now you're giving money to that church And some churches expect you to give X percentage of what you make a year. I never understood that. And I was there, and it was like, I was trying to be a good Christian. I was trying to be the good boy, I'm trying to understand. And, you go to church and you're watching all these people just giving out money and putting it into this gold fucking bowl. It's going down these aisles, I never understood that from a young age. I never agreed with it either, to be honest with you. But nevertheless, I eventually found my path into paganism. And when I found my way into paganism, it was, I think when I really burst through it is I was in a very dark time. Not a dark time where I wanted to whatever. I mean, a dark time where it's just a lot of shit going on, just was very confused, was doubting a whole bunch of stuff, and it just kind of came to me. So I've done a lot of reading, I've done a lot of research, I've done my due diligence on, just paganism, rituals, stuff like that. Okay. And the reason why I say rituals is because, and I'll get into that here in a second, but so for me, being a pagan, it's just about being, good to your fellow men, women, and children, and treating everybody respectfully and just being a good person. Isn't that the same thing that the Christians want? But yet, if you tell a Christian that, no, I don't believe in God, the first thing they say is, I'm going to pray for you. Well, I don't want you to pray for me, because I don't believe in your God doesn't mean I need you to pray for me, because I have my own gods I honor, But unfortunately, some Christians do that. Majority of the Christians do that. And, I get it. That's how they were brought up, but it's just like, Which brings me to this. Okay. There is a show, the Dare America podcast, hosted by Graham Allen himself. And they just did an episode just yesterday about what's going on over in Davos. And apparently they had somebody from the rainforest come up in there. And here is somebody that obviously, he's a hardcore Christian, folks. This man, he recites from the Bible at the end of his shows, whatever. He does all that stuff, okay? And fine, that's his thing. And I still respect it, and I still listen to his show regardless, okay? Because I feel in this battle that we got going on, it doesn't matter if you're Christian or if you're pagan. We're all on the same fucking team here. I'm not going to sit here and call out and say Christians are horrible people, or that your Pope was on, mentioned in the Epstein, files, or, stuff like that, which he was, or how deacons and preachers and all that stuff molest little kids all the time. This is the first time I've ever said any of that. But this man, he's said a few things before about pagans and, unholy people, blah, blah, blah. And this is where I got to put my foot down, because he was essentially saying that this person that was there, they were performing this pagan ritual there, and we're calling the pagan ritual evil and this and that. It's like, I watched the video, folks. And if you think that's a pagan ritual, you're fucked in the head. You don't know what you're talking about. And you just need to shut the fuck up before you look stupid. And unfortunately for somebody like Graham Allen, he looked very stupid in saying that is a pagan fucking ritual when it is, in fact, not. Because let me be honest with you. Why would somebody from the rainforest, first off, they don't have all this technology like we do, okay? Use your fucking head for a second here. The rainforest, okay? Shamans in the rainforest aren't going to go to Davos. And typically, the ones in the rainforest are fucking shamans, okay? They're not going to go to Davos and spit and do whatever you think the spitting thing is and paint their nose red and all that stuff. They're not going to do that. That's not a fucking shaman, you idiot. That's not a pagan, you fucking moron. Chances are pretty good no self-respecting pagan, shaman, or anything like that is going to go to Davos to promote any of that garbage that the elite, the globalists want. They're just not going to do it. The person was very well dressed. Again, come on. It looked like a costume, to be honest with. I'll be 100% honest. It looked like a fucking costume. It probably was a costume. So this person was more than likely a paid actor. Somebody to, here, put this on, this headdress and this stuff. Actually, this hat, I'm sorry. Paint your nose this color and wear this and jump for us, little monkey. That's essentially what it was. And then you got the news and all that, trying to cast this dark cloud, especially, I'm more or less Graham Allen casting this dark cloud and his little crew over there, calling them, basically pagans. And I find that offensive because I'm a pagan and they're not pagan. That person was not a pagan at all. It wasn't a pagan ritual. If that was ritual of anything that's going on over Davos, that, maybe you want to talk to the satanic church, okay? Because that's down their aisle right there, not pagans. We wouldn't be doing stuff like that. So what do I do? All right. So I see this. I'm like, I'm going to make a post to kind of correct them. I'm going to comment on their show, which I did. And lo and behold, one of his followers basically came out and to my post and said, "Oh, too bad there's not a pagan patriot show." Well, there actually is, dumbass. And it's called the Hammer Drops Podcast. I'm a pagan. I'm a patriot. Go figure. So that kind of like ground my gears a little bit. And I know I went off on a little bit of a tangent with it, but in all honesty, I don't usually call out other shows or other people on this show. I don't call out Christians. I don't, based on beliefs and all that stuff. I just don't. Because for me, being a pagan, I don't need to. Okay? The only thing I need to do is what I think is right. And this is what I think is right now. I needed to say this now because in defense of all pagans out there that took offense to that may listen to Graham Allen because we actually did like his show because he did provide interesting things, okay? An alternative, But unfortunately, what I've learned is with some conservatives, if you're pagan, they still don't like you. And that's okay. That's okay, folks, because I'm going to continue doing what I'm doing. I'm going to continue fighting the good fight, regardless. If every conservative hated me because I'm pagan, I'm still going to continue the fight to bring the information to you. And that goes for the Christians as well. Christians, it can all hate me as well, but I'm going to still continue doing what I'm doing. Because, believe it or not, I was put here to do exactly this right now in this moment. And whether you want to believe that or not, that's up to you. Whatever. But that's how I see it. So, I hope you liked this episode. If you did, don't forget to hit the like, leave me a comment, give me 5 stars. Let's help break this algorithm up, get me out to more people. If you haven't followed us on social media, go to your favorite social media or all of them. Follow us on all of them. Just look up the Hammer Drops. I'll provide the links in the description as well. Or go to our website, thehammerdrops.com, and all of our socials are there as well. You can follow us on your favorite podcast platform just by searching in the name of the show, and we're going to pop up. Definitely don't forget to follow us there, so this way you automatically get updated as soon as a new episode comes out. Till next time, folks, be good to one another.